Well, hello there, my Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury signs. Welcome to your Samhain Mercury Retrograde reading. Well, I want to say from October, but really Mercury Retrograde starts on Halloween, right? So this is for Samhain. Look it up, S-O-W-E-N. S-O-W-E-N is how it sounds, Samhain, but it's pronounced S-A-M-H-A-I-N, as you can see in the title. Welcome if you are new to my channel. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive, apparently a YouTuber now, and president of Join the Circle Productions. Go check out the links below. I got a lot of cool stuff down there. I wrote a couple of books. My website's really hot. I like it. Yeah. So we're doing something a little bit different this time, as I always do. I always switch it up. I am a Virgo with a Pisces moon and Leo rising, so when I tend to shift and change things a lot, being all that mutability. But then, you know, Leo rising, I make it look like it looks. And look, I'm wearing guy liner for you all because it's Halloween, right? Samhain, not technically the same things for me, but whatever. So just so you know, the astrology that's coming up, I mean, Mercury is going retrograde, but it's going retrograde in Scorpio. So this is one of the longer ones I think that we've had this year. So this is about alchemy, this reading. This is about what you need to look at, not a what do I need reading. It's probably going to be longer than that. I've actually shifted the decks a bit too. You'll see as we go along. So take a deep breath. It's really, really important that you breathe, right? Well, you need to breathe anyway. But to be aware of your breathing, because shallow breathing usually means there's shallow thinking. And this one, you want to go deep, right? So remember to breathe. Consciously just be with your breath, right? Make your breath your best friend because it never leaves you. Even when you croak, right? When you cross over, you're breathing in the next dimension because breath is God. Breath is life. Prana, right? Spirit. Inspiration, respiration, right? Inspiration, respiration. So let's dive in. We're going to start off with a Caroline Myss archetype card, just one. And I've got my map here. I drew this spread out because this came really, really, really inspired. This is really going to be about the main archetype for you to focus on to alchemize from lead to gold, really for practically the entire month of November, right? Because even though, you know, Halloween, Samhain, whether you see that on October 31st, technically the astrological cross quarter for Samhain is 15 degrees in Scorpio. The sun is 15 degrees Scorpio. I know that usually happens a week or so later, usually the 5th, the 7th, around there. And then this Mercury retrograde goes until, yikes, November 20th. So that's when it goes direct. So let's have a look-see. Take a deep breath, ground and center. And may this be the best reading I've ever given. Please, my collective pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card in clarity for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign, for this Samhain season, and Mercury retrograde for November 2019, please. What is the dominant archetype that they need to alchemize, that they need to embrace the shadow to bring it into light for this Samhain season? Well, the orphan child, okay? Now, I've been futzing around with my lighting to get it a little bit better. It's really dark out today. It's a stormy, cloudy day here in Holbrook. So don't worry, I'll actually read this now. So look, I have the orphan child, but we all have the child archetype, right? If you read Sacred Contracts by Caroline Myss, the child, the victim, the saboteur, and the prostitute are all part of the survival family of archetypes. Everybody has those four. But the child archetype has what I call sub-archetypes or sub-patterns within it. So there's the nature child, the magical child, the orphan child. There's a whole bunch of them. The orphan child is an incredibly powerful one. They're all powerful. Archetypes are about power, right? The soul powers you came in to refine in this life, in your sacred contracts and stuff. In other words, stuff that was already written into the character that you're playing, your personality, or like Mark Angelo Lyons is the name of the personality, but my soul has played other roles, right, on this planet and apparently elsewhere. So we're looking at this from a multidimensional place. So I'm very familiar with this one. All right, the guides are totally kicked in here. Superman is an orphan archetype. Batman is an orphan archetype, right? Tony Stark is an orphan archetype. Spider-Man is an orphan archetype. Harry Potter is an orphan archetype. Dorothy Gale, Wizard of Oz, orphan archetype. A lot of our fictional heroes are orphans. Why is that? You're going to hear that why that is right now. So we're actually going to start with the shadow on this so that you get the lead of this, the toxicity, the shadow side that you can alchemize into light from lead to gold, right? So the shadow attributes. Feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Been there, done that, have the burnt t-shirt. The light attribute, independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. So look, whether or not you were literally orphaned, by the way, you can be literally orphaned and not have the orphan archetype, right? It's a pre-incarnational thing. I think everybody gets a touch of this, but this is if you've been feeling lonely. Lonely is a word of the child archetype. If you've been feeling abandoned, if you've been feeling rejected, know that this is so that you can find your own way, right? Now, I was born with this orphan archetype along with other. I've got the nature child, the divine child, the magical child, the wounded child. Who doesn't have a wounded child that I know of? So as a result, I've had to find my own way. Like you know who doesn't have the orphan archetypes? Cheerleaders. No offense to cheerleaders, but they're tribal, right? It's like they are part of a tribe. So think of this as sort of the dominant energy for this reading. It's all going to refer back to this card. And so like I never had to ask my family if it was okay to be gay or okay to be a witch or okay to change my hair to purple. Thank you, overtone purple for brown. But it was incredibly painful as I went. Even this past week, I've cut like at least 10 people out of my life that really are just toxic beyond belief and have to go it alone, cannot rely upon anybody. So this in a way is a great cure for codependent patterning, because you learn how to be not so much independent, which is just as toxic as codependent in the psychological sense, but you learn to become interdependent, or if you like, God dependent, dependent upon the true self. The breath brings you in everything you need in the moment. The exhale releases everything you need to release in the moment. So just to stay in the breath with that and to love that child within, to take, that's how you alchemize the orphan archetype. It's inner child work, but sort of a fifth dimensional unity consciousness level of it, where you kind of pop up into the 8th chakra and you love that child from that place, right? Seeing the larger picture, just giving it love. It's okay, I love you, sweetheart, I'm here, I will never abandon you, you're coming with me. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, even when I croak, you're coming with me. So I love you. And we are going to take this adventure as it comes day by day. And by the way, they brought this up 3 times, so I'll say it. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, the child, right? So very appropriate. Now, that's what we're starting with. Let's have a look at what I'm doing with the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack cards. I've actually divided the deck into 2. In the first card that we're going to get is from the Womp Womp cards. Yes, I separated out the Womp Womp cards. No, I did not burn them and scatter the ashes. They're important, right? So we're going to call this the lead deck, right? So this is the stuff that needs to be alchemized. And then the rest of it are the luck, the healing, and the grace suits that are the gold, right? How to help you alchemize all that stuff. So I'm actually going to put them on separate sides of the table so that I do not unconsciously shuffle them together. So this is the first time doing this on video. So let's have a look-see, duck-see, shall we? Breathe. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Breathe. The deeper you're breathing, the more in the body you are, the more in the present moment, the more that you can take this reading for what actually resonates. Remember, this is a collective read. It's Sun, Moon, Rising, and Mercury signs. So, you can check your other signs. I don't know if these are going to be quickies. I somehow doubt they are, but let's see. Ready? So, my masters, please, 1 card in clarity for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign. What is the lead that this child archetype, this orphan child archetype is alchemizing? What is the dominant lead? Well, loss. Okay, so nice and clear. I mean, I know it sucks. Nice and clear, though, that this orphan child is dealing with loss. Well, I mean, not a huge shock, right? The orphan always feels like, I have to look, I lost this, I lost that, I lost their respect, where it's all about you giving it to yourself. So let's look with this half of it. My masters, please, one card in clarity. We've got this orphan archetype here for this Aries collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign. Please, the lead is the loss, dealing with feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. Can you give us some light here to help with that attribute of independence based on learning to go it alone and conquering fears of surviving? Please, one card, my masters. Oh, here we go. Wild abandon. Wild abandon. Now, I can't not have the Our Lips Are Sealed Go-Go's video in that they're dancing in the fountain. Some people got their clothes off. So, is this sexual? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what other cards come out as we go. And don't worry, I will pop a picture up of the spread once I am done. Once I'm done, I snap a picture with my phone, and then I put it in the video in the edits. Cool, cool. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to take 5 Daughters of the Moon tarot cards, looking at the fire, earth, air, water, and spirit for this season of Samhain and Mercury retrograde. So here we go. Just move those over so I have a little bit more room on the table. My gods, please. Top 5 cards in clarity. Element spread for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde. What's going on for them? Help them alchemize fire through what they want, so you can look at what they really want. Earth for what they have to help them alchemize all this stuff, embracing the shadow, Mercury retrograde and all. Water, what they're feeling. Air, what they're thinking. Fire, air, what they're thinking. Water, what they're feeling. And spirit for overview, please. My gods, 5 cards top of the deck. Maiden. Oh, that was clear cut. Mother. That one wasn't, but that's okay. Round. Alrighty, let's have a look. So the first card down, as I said, will be fire, your element of fire, what it is that you want, right? Like to take a look at that. And here we've got justice. You want justice. You want those scales balanced, and you want them balanced now. I get it. So particularly with that loss, right? It's like, well, isn't it, oh, I just didn't even see that, the word wild abandon. Wild abandon, and we're dealing with abandonment issues here. You see wild abandon. No, that camera is not going to pick that up. Oh, well, there's only so much I can do with my lighting now that I'm already in the video. So if we're looking at this, of course, there's a Libra influence here with the actual scales. The goddess in this deck is Ma'at. It's interesting, if you watched American Gods on Starz, they had a version of Ma'at, but Ma'at was a male, right? This is the goddess Ma'at, who weighs the heart of the person who has crossed over with an ostrich feather, and if it balances, they get to move on, and if it don't balance, well, depending on which interpretation, I think it's the Egyptian Book of the Dead. One version is that, yeah, you just have to go back and do it again. I like that one. It's sort of like not being left back, but you just go back for more work. Back into Earth School you go. But there are other versions where your heart gets eaten by a demon. What are you going to do? Check your references is what you're going to do. So there's something here that what you want is balance. What you want is justice, equal give and take, that perhaps you have been giving, as an orphan child will do, particularly if there's people pleasing involved, right? The chaser archetype, which of course, hard to go it alone when you're always trying to get everybody else's everything. That doesn't mean that what you're doing isn't good, right? Like, you can absolutely put out your best, your grace. You can really be authentic. But I get that's why you want that, right? So let's have a look. What do you have? What is your earth element to help you get that? Like the wick in a candle that feeds the flame, right? The wick is the earth card. Well, and here we have victory. So you have victory. You have forward motion here. The Seven of Flames. I know it's usually seen as the Six of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot. This feels really good. This feels like you're already on the journey. This isn't something you have to begin doing. You're already doing it. And considering it's Mercury retrograde, you are going to be galloping forward into this Mercury retrograde, really learning a lot, really gathering momentum, really moving forward. And this balance, this justice, and it feels like karmic law. It does feel like not just someone's, there's plural there, have done you wrong. But you got to get that everything that what's going to help you keep this momentum going. Wow, my gods are really kicked in here. Is really getting that the gods don't send you anything, not only that you can't handle, they only send you stuff that is here to help you. Now, you might not get that. Well, a lot of us don't get, how the hell, like watch the news, how the hell is this helping us? But it is. It's helping on the soul level. It's helping you grow, to face things that you need to face, to embrace things you need to embrace, particularly your own light, your own grace, your own goodness, your own soul, right? So as you embrace the soul, the truth of who we are, has a deeper understanding of this stuff than the personality. That's why meditation, being on a spiritual path, divination, anything that brings you closer to that. So a galloping forward motion, that feels really, really, really lovely. So air, what you thinking about all this? Well, you got an air, you've got the Ace of Blades, the Sibyl, the Oracle of Delphi there. So a new thought coming in. So be careful of resistant thought here. You know, it's like, well, that's just bullshit. That's just bullshit. That's just stupid. Look, nothing's stupid. If the divine is sending it to you, like if they're sending you stupid people who don't see your wealth, your worth, they're not stupid. They just can't see. There's a difference. And there's actually something there that is helping you. Everything helps everything, helping you see your own worth, galloping forward. So really even making this justice for yourself, to bring yourself into that balance of, you know what, whether they love me or not, whether they get me or not, does not matter as much, nowhere near as much as that I love me, I accept me, it's okay. I'm on a journey here. There is a learning curve here, and I am moving forward. Yeah, very lovely. But they also want me to say here that with this Ace of Blades, it's like download, right, from the 8th chakra into the crown chakra, hits that third eye, and yes, of course it can mean new communication, that there are things that you want to communicate or new communication coming in. I mean, this, what we're doing right now, is a new communication coming in. But considering it's Mercury retrograde, you might want to hold on to that. Not so much keep it secret, keep it safe, although you may need to. Because of the orphan archetype, this really isn't for anybody else. This is for you. So what are you feeling about all of this? Your element of water, well, that's where the conflict is. Now, we're not reading any reverse cards here. Anyway, this one came straight up. So most likely, this is an emotional conflict within yourself. Sort of a push-pull within, get one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, kind of spinning your wheels, that there's something emotional here, which I would think with the child, the orphan child archetype with that card of loss, that you're dealing with the emotions of loss. And now I'll say this, I'm surprised I didn't say it before, but I take this as they give it to me. Everyone has the wounds of loss, right? There are 4 ego wounds: abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. Maybe you were abused, maybe you have those wounds, maybe you've already healed them, maybe not. Same with neglect, which is the passive, right? So aggressive narcissists, right? They're abusive. Passive or covert narcissists, they're not exactly the same thing. So let me say the covert narcissists, they neglect so that you chase them. It just sucks, and not only in romantic, sexual, by the way, all sorts of different relationships. Codependence, look, it's not just relationship addiction, but it's in there, right? That we're dependent. I can't live if living is without you. Oh, bite my shiny magic ass. Yes, I can, particularly if you got the orphan archetype. It's like, watch me live if living is without you. But the wounds of loss, everybody has, because everyone experiences loss, or if you like, erosion, right? There's erosion and renewal. And now we are in the season of final erosion, where things are just eroding away to be reborn at Yule, winter solstice, right? So there, yeah, so there can be some conflict going on here about even wanting to accept, but I want you to know that we're not responsible for the renewal or the erosion. They're just built in. It's like the cycles of nature. You didn't do anything wrong. No one has ever done anything wrong. This is a quantum game we're in, just like a single player, what is that, single shooter game, right? Video game, where you're only seeing through your perspective, but it's all programmed. You just make the best decisions you can. And if you didn't make the best decision, if that's what the conflict is about, right? That if someone's have done you wrong, just know that's part of the game, and it's here to make you stronger, right? A weakness is getting stronger, and eventually, if you do the work, the internal work that only you can do, isn't that good? That just empowers you. I'm going to do the work that only I can do. I'm going to give myself the love that only I can give myself. Then you're going to find that that alchemizes in a way where you look back over your shoulder and go, oh my God, I'm so thankful that happened. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because what I got out of this journey was just totally worth it. I'm so sorry. I thought I had turned that volume down, and I did not, but that's okay. Yeah, Mr. Laptop. Okay, last card down for this pentacle spread, really. Element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit. Spirit, what is your overview? Now, the Taurus card. Now, that could be someone with Taurus energy, right? A life value thing. But I think, yeah, how I'm feeling this, it may involve a person. I did a clarifying read video called How I Read, clarifying how I read court cards. This feels like, yes, this may be a new person coming into your life, but it might also represent your soul, your spirit in terms of second house life values, right? What are your long-term values, the things that you value, that you are here to value yourself. You are here to value honesty. You are here to value the path. You're here to value the truth. To me, for example, honesty. Like, honesty isn't just truth. I mean, give me the light of truth. Let me burn alive with by the light of truth. May it combust. You can't burn a fire. So let me just be that burning light of truth, enlightened. But honesty is about truth and compassion, right? So to me, that is a lifelong lesson, which is why I just cut a lot of people out of my life for deceptions and dishonesties. I may not, and you might feel the same way if you have been sort of deceived in some of this, lied to. People lie because they're in pain. It has nothing to do with us. It's just what they are. It's just what they're going through. They may not be in it forever. Maybe they come around and apologize and tell you the truth. But the bottom line is that we have to love ourselves all the way through, and just keep breathing, right? Just keep breathing. And it's totally okay to cut people out. And if they have, letting go sometimes is very simple. They're already gone. They're already going. Let them. And bring your focus back to you. Now, we're going to go further with this. We're going to, no, all right, let's do the angels next. Right. We're going to clarify these with the angel cards, because I love this Healing with the Angels Oracle deck, Doreen Virtue. By the way, all the decks that I read are in the description box below at the very bottom. I don't read all of them every time. I just put them in there. But I always rewrite my description box every time I post a new series. So go check that out at the end of this. And by the way, please like and subscribe, not just if this is clicking for you, but if there are pieces of it, because you might find with your other signs, right? So we're doing Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury. So my angels, please clarify this lovely Ma'at card of justice. Please, one card in clarity, a declarative voice. Oh, celebration. So what you want is to be able to celebrate that. I totally did that the wrong way. You totally want to be in celebration. What you want is to celebrate justice. So if this has anything to do with legal matters, court matters, right? That's not my sense, but it might be for some of you. That particularly during a Samhain tide, as much as we think that Samhain this time of the year is about death, and it is, there's also something about completions, and that the scales may be balanced, particularly if you were taken from, right? If you were stolen from in some way, shape, or form, or were not given the respect, the clarity, the communication that you needed, not just wanted but needed, that there is reason what you want is a reason to celebrate there, and I get that. And with this card of victory, oh, well, you know, well, I just saw victory. If this is legal, it's definitely something that you'll get what you want on this, most likely. But let's clarify this card of victory, please. My angels, one card of clarity. Well, self-acceptance, right? Isn't that all just what this is about? That there's victory to you through self-acceptance. Now, let's just take a moment on that to say, well, what is then self-acceptance? Again, pop up to the 8th chakra, right? Call in your higher self. See from your higher self's point of view. Whatever rises inside of you, right? So if it's anger, and remember, you've got a conflict here, so I will do this with you right now. This is what I do with clients all day, every day, it seems. Well, I'm feeling conflicted about this. Like, that's the voice that rises. You can do it silently, but I'm doing it out loud. Otherwise, it's just looking like me doing it. I'm in conflict about this. I don't know what to do. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to say, I accept, I accept, I accept. You can say, no, it's okay. Like an orphan child inside of you. You talk to the orphan. You know, this is so brilliant. I really hope people didn't click off on that, because the opportunity for this is so huge. Allows us to survive in a whole new, innocent way, not being so pulled by tribal dictate, whether your own genetic family or just society at large, or group of friends. You're able to kind of heal and go on your own without anybody else's approval. But acceptance of this you give to yourself. It's like, okay, that's your mode of victory. I accept, I accept, I accept is helpful. But for me, what works is, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that we're overthinking this. It's okay that we're feeling this way about this. It's okay that we're sad. It's okay that we're vengeful. It's okay that we're wrathful, but we're not going to act on it. That self-acceptance is an internal thing. And believe me, it has kept me from doing all sorts of diabolical deeds, both seen and unseen, right? Meaning, you know, key your car, that scene, load a candle with cypress oil and rusty nails and pins. You know, believe me, I have all the ingredients. I keep them upstairs in my upstairs office, because I can feel those feelings, but I'm not going to act on it. But it's nice to, oh, I'm tempted. It's okay to be tempted. It's okay to be tempted, right? So what's going on in the mental field here? Let's ask the angels with this. Hey, come back here. Oh, no, not unless that card needs to come up. I do not want to see that card unless that card needs to come up. So my angels, please, one card in clarity for this Ace of Blades, the symbol for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Samhain, Mercury Retrograde freedom. A thought that frees you. I'm thinking about freedom, right? That actually these people, places, or things that have appeared to abandon you have actually set you free. You're ready, right? The Ace, that you're ready for a whole new way of thinking. You know, when we identify with a tribe, first of all, like I said before, the truth of who we are is the soul, right? The eternal spirit, the actor that has played all of these roles in all of these lives. Well, then it's really easy to not just get identified with the ego, which is the toxic patterns, that all of that is being alchemized. That's just the divine that has forgotten itself. That's why you love what rises without acting on it. That's the orphaned child, in this case, that needs to be loved. But then as you're doing, if you're not doing that work, it's very easy to not just identify with your pain, but also to really make sure that you're identified with tribes so that you feel like you belong, particularly if they are unhealthy surrogate families, surrogate tribes, which I've had a shit ton of in this life too. You know, I only found out about the orphan child archetype and all this stuff. When did Sacred Contracts come out? Yeah, I think that was the early 2000s. So, you know, it's an ongoing process. So this thing of the Ace of Blades with freedom, that your mind is being freed with new thought. And I hope this reading serves that, but it is really only the beginning. It's an ace. So now here we want to get to, this feels like the crux of the matter here, this conflict card. I mean, it's a fire card in a water position. So please, my angels, please clarify this conflict card for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde. Well, serenity. Now look, the serenity now. The card of serenity certainly speaks of that serenity prayer, right? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That this emotional part really does need to be accepted, because there are obviously things you cannot change, obviously things you can, and you are gaining the wisdom on your own to know the difference. Now, the courage to change the things I can, the word courage comes from the French word for the heart, cœur, right? Oh, le cœur, oh, mon cœur, oh, je mets le cœur, doctor. It means I'm going to throw up, unfortunately, but that's how I learned the word. My God, how I remember French lessons from junior high school. So to really take the courage to love and accept yourself, even if it's just sitting there saying, I don't know how to love myself, but I'm calling upon my higher powers here to love myself through me for the well-being of all. Help me, love me, help me, accept me. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because remember, this is a quantum game we are in. This has already been filmed, all of the different quantum variants already programmed into the game. We're just playing the game. We're just taking the options that are in front of us to do to the best of our ability, right? That's part of serenity, that we're not in control of the outcomes. Have you noticed all the law of attraction, all the spells, all that stuff? Sometimes I think that the spells that we do are just expressions of our intuition that something's on its way. But it's not coming until we're ready. But what can we do to get ready? I don't know. We're in conflict. So let me grant me the serenity to accept the things I can, and the courage to love, to heal, to alchemize, to embrace whatever shadow, to deal with this loss in some way with wild abandon. And I would say wild abandon of what? Self-acceptance, freedom, celebration, and serenity. You can have wild abandon with serenity. It's like, well, you know what? What they're doing, what they're thinking, I can't change it. It's none of my business. That's how their character is written. This is what my character is dealing with. How do I want to play the role, like play the game? And remember, that once you make a quantum choice, right, you say, I'm going right, another version of you goes left. So, you know, the version that you are experiencing right now is the highest, best version for your growth. You don't have to like it, though. You can accept it. You can simply accept, okay, I accept that this very well may be the highest version, that the entire universe has rearranged itself to help me grow, heal, learn, become the best that I can be, but I don't gotta like it. I accept that I don't like it. I accept that it sucks right now. But keep in mind, there is such good stuff here happening for you. I get why you would be like, this sucks, and then later going, oh, thank you. That was the best thing that ever could have happened, right? Because here, your spirit card, the overview, is that card of Taurus. And like I said, it absolutely could be somebody coming into your life, but my sense is this is you getting really, really clear from your spirit's point of view how valuable you are lifelong, and how everything that has ever happened for you has been happening for you, not to you, that it's all been here to help. And look, nobody knows that coming in. Well, we know it before we come in, but once we're in here, you know, we have to start with like learning how to walk and talk and chew and shit like that, so that there is immense value, that you are, everybody's immensely valuable. We're all the hidden children of the gods, but do you get hidden that even to ourselves we've forgotten our divinity, that you are of immense lifelong value, and that there is immense lifelong value in you. Let no one, well, they can tell you whatever they tell you, or orphan archetype, they probably will tell you how horrible they are, how horrible you are, but that's projection. They're just doing to you what was done to them. So you don't have to play victim. In fact, the victim, I'm not, if there's any feeling of victimization going on here, which I'm not really feeling, is that sense of loss, right? So my angels, please clarify this Taurus card in the spirit position for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign for this Samhain season and Mercury retrograde, November 2019. New love. Now, again, like I said, if a Taurus vibration comes in and offering you new love, you might be in conflict about that, but you can still take a baby step, right? Aries, first sign of the zodiac, the baby. But I also feel like that you, through new love, find your own value, love of self. I love you. You don't have to feel it when you say it, right? That child inside of us, regardless of archetypal correspondent there, that child inside of us has been told over and over, I love you, by people who then did very unloving things, right? Very harmful things. It's just part of the script that we agreed to. It's not just that we chose this. We went to the audition in the higher dimensions. We read the part, we're like, oh, I really, really want this part. And then we were chosen out of who knows how many millions of souls wanted to incarnate to play the role that you are playing, to grow, to heal, to learn, and to evolve. That's what schoolroom Earth is, but it's also playground Earth. So there is new love coming in for you, no question, and one of high value, and that might mean you loving yourself in a brand new way, particularly with that Ace of Blades with freedom. We're going to pull one more card. I don't feel like this needs clarifying any more than we've done here, so we're going to end the read with a whisper of love, the higher selves of all involved, right in the center of the table, right in the center of the spread, and then I'll give you a quickie overview, all right, with the picture. I'll take a picture and pop it up. So here we go. The higher selves of all involved for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury signs, for this Samhain tide, Samhain season, Mercury retrograde for November 2019, please, a whisper of love for my delicious Aries collective. Consider your foundation. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. So what could be more foundational than love and acceptance of self? What could be more foundational than your breath, which never leaves you? Even when you croak, it comes along because it is who we are. We are the breath, right? Mana, prana, spirit, we are that. Consider your foundations, and this might very well have to do with your childhood. Look, I was born in 1968. I know I don't look 51. Witchcraft, forgiveness, and any Lancome product mixed with the tears of small children. That last part's a joke. But allowing that child in me to cry, right? It releases psychic weight. And the breath, and the breath, and the breath to completely replenish and release, replenish and release to every cell, every emotion, every feeling. To consider your foundation, that if you are kind of on your own right now, abandon yourself to it. Not abandon yourself and say, all right, fine, this is what I need. Let's do this. Let's get our enthusiasm. Let's bring our passion to it. Let's be badass about this. Then I'm going to consider my foundation, not that I need to get, you know, a microscope and tweezers and tweeze out every bad thing that I feel like has ever happened to me. No, 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 no. No, I am going to consider my foundation. Again, you're being asked to look at how committed you are to love. So how committed are you to loving yourself, to giving yourself the love that only you can give you? It's not that people might very well want to be able to give you that love, but they can't. There's certain things that there are certain doors that you can only go through by yourself in solo. And then there are certain doors that have to be entered two by two. That's how we deal with the one-on-one relationships in our life. But that's why we need to constantly go back. I love you. It's okay. That seems to be your two phrases. I love you. It's okay. So let's have a look here. My Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury collective here. We start you off with the orphan archetype here. The shadow feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation and seeking inappropriate surrogate families, alchemized throughout the season and this Mercury retrograde with independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering the fear of surviving on your own. And what are the alchemical elements here? We've got loss and wild abandon, right? So we have one that's very much in about pain. And remember, if what's going on now is just triggering emotions in the cell tissue and in the collective that needs to be healed, loved, and released, and that you are able to abandon yourself to that process, to really go wild, to get naked, as it were, within yourself. In your element spread here, we've got Ma'at, the card of justice, with celebration that you want. Like, you want to celebrate, but you want to celebrate this in balance. You want a balance brought in, justice to be done in a way that you can celebrate. And what you have to do that really starts within, with this Seven of Flames. Victory comes through self-acceptance. It's okay. It's okay. It's like I say to myself, it's okay, Mal. It's okay, Mal. It's okay. And sometimes it's Mark. And sometimes I call him Kid. It's okay, kid. It's okay, kid. Just keep breathing. You'll get through this. I love you. It's okay. And what's on your mind is about these, you know, this Ace of Blades, this thought of freedom, of just being free of all of this stuff, and also new thoughts coming in that bring you to freedom. What are you feeling? That conflict, and yet with serenity. That the conflict is like, well, I'm getting the wisdom of what I can change and what I can't, and what I can, I am going to take that up. So it brings me into balance and serenity. That certainly can be about that Ma'at Justice card in the fire position. Your overall, your overview from Spirit is Taurus with new love, that there's a life value, a new love of great value, but as much as it could be both. I don't necessarily think it's purely either you about loving yourself in a new way, or somebody coming in loving you as a new love. I think it very well might be both. Who knows which happens first? Does it matter? Because ultimately you're here to consider your foundation. Perfect for Mercury retrograde. Consider your foundation. You are being asked to look at how committed you are to love. So my Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury sign, thank you so much for watching. I really, really hope this helps. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. Hit that notification bell. Because right after I get this series done, I'm going to be doing the Path of True Love reads for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Cool, cool. Please check the description box. There's all sorts of cool stuff down there. But for now, I wish you the very best and the very blessed of this Samhain season and this Mercury retrograde for November 2019. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed be.